Hello and welcome everyone to today's webinar. My name is Lucian Zaborowski and I am the Associate Director of Marketing here at Creatio. Today we have a fantastic speaker presenting on a very interesting topic, which is benefits of using low-code CRM in banking, the end user view. Couple of reminders, this session is recorded and we also love to answer any of your questions that you might have. So please put those questions into the chat area of this webinar. If we cannot get to your questions now, we will follow up with an email in which we'll also include the link to this recording. A couple words about our speaker, which I mentioned is a fantastic one. Andy Dovgan, the Chief Sales Officer for Global Markets here at Creatio. He, in fact, is the perfect speaker for this topic. So without any delay, let me hand over right to Andy. Andy.
Historically, CRM and business process management applications were perceived as technologies that are firstly made for serving needs of upper management, right? Because they were a great toolkit to go and get some reports and some analytics that will help top managers to make their decisions. While the end users were forced just to enter data and spend a lot of time by typing in some information so that those reports are very accurate. I want to assure you that those days have been past, and now it's a very different situation. I can say that modern CRM technologies are equally beneficial and are equally important to both end users that consume information and spend their days in those technologies, and of course, for those who get some reports, analytics, and look at a high-level picture. And I'm very delighted to spend next 30 minutes with you and cover kind of practices and examples, how you can get most out of your CRM system, and what kind of habits and approaches and mindsets really you can incorporate to become very successful with your technology and see this technology as your trusted advisor at something that helps you to improve your productivity and be more efficient. All right. Before jumping into a lot of details, I'd like to talk a little bit more about myself. My name is Andy Dovgan, and I have been with Creatio for more than 10 years, and I'm really passionate about CRM field because I'm really excited to see how technology changes the way how we interact with each other, the way how we do business, and the way how we connect with our customers. Throughout all those years, I worked very close with my customers, and I saw some significant transformations. And that's why I'm very happy to share my experience, but also help my customers in this journey of a change and transformation to become low-code companies, to become more efficient organizations and penetrate their markets in a more aggressive and efficient way. So let us start with our presentation. And I guess our first step is to understand the trends that are going on in the financial sector. And one of the key trends now is that our customers expect a lot from their financial services providers. You can see some shocking numbers here in regards to expectations about technology, about personalized relationships, as well as personalized and tailored strategies. And you know what? This will be getting even better or worse, depending on which dimension you choose to look at this. Customers will expect an Amazon or Uber-like service. They will expect you to know everything about their needs and predict those needs and come up with their tailored products and tailored communication strategies. And those organizations that will not be able to keep up with those trends probably will not find their place in the future of the financial services. That's the way how it is, and it's our mission to get equipped with the right technologies to be ready for the digital future. Now, but when we look at employees and when we look at people that provide those services and connect with those customers, we see a little bit different situation. So we see that lots of current financial services relationship managers or sales managers, employees in branches, they spend a lot of time navigating through screens. And sometimes they spend up to 1 hour a day just to navigate through different screens and applications and use core banking systems, credit management systems and other technologies, right? It's very cumbersome, it's very difficult. We also see that it takes a lot of time to find information and then to transfer this information, because not always those technologies are integrated well. And we also see some raise of expectations from a modern workforce that expects their employers to have right technologies and right tools to make them successful, right? So from one hand, we have customers that are expecting you to know a lot and leverage technologies efficiently. And then on another hand, we see employees that are not there yet in the most of the cases. And that's why we see as our goal to help financial services institutions and equip them with the right technologies and approaches so that they will be able to provide this better customer service and better experience to the consumers. And when we look at solving this problem, we usually identify 4 major areas of focus. The first one is to create hyper-personalized experience and use data to organize yourself and understand your customer better, and then come up with a very personalized approach towards servicing them. Secondly, we think about establishing the right processes and connecting people and teams so that you can act as one and you can streamline all the internal operations to improve quality of the service, but also improve the speed of service delivery. Then we also talk about consolidating applications and consolidating interfaces, taking 8 to 10 different screens and consolidating them down to one that is focused on customer and that already has all needed capabilities for you to become successful in your day-to-day job. And finally, enable you to innovate and change faster, because no matter what we're going to deploy today, probably within 6 months or even 1 year, this will be already outdated and you will be seeking for some adjustments. So how we can help you to get those adjustments and changes in a blink of an eye so that there is no need for you to wait days and weeks and months once this is ready. Let's explore the technologies. And let's start with the first pillar, which is creation of uber personalized experience. We mentioned a few minutes ago that our customers nowadays expect from banks and financial services organizations an Amazon-like service. They expect you to be quick, they expect you to be relevant, and they expect you to deliver a very customized product. The question is what we need to do and how we can embrace this trend so that we deliver on expectations and hopefully exceed those expectations. And the very first step and the foundational step is to create a unified customer profile and being able to capture and manage information about your customers in a correct way. Here on this screen, you see an example of 360-degree view on a customer. And in our case, it's an account. That, of course, can be an individual. And of course, all the data that you see on the screen can be easily changed. It serves just an example. And as we are sharing information on customers with our users, we are focused on a number of techniques and approaches. First off, we are trying to substitute all heavy data fields and information with very easy to consume visual components. For example, within Analytics tab or General Indicators tab, you can see some snapshots and highlights about this particular customer. So there is no need for you to go and calculate and do some unneeded data manipulation to understand where do you stand with this customer, what is going on, and what kind of aggregated data do you have at your disposal. More importantly, as we are collecting this data, we are trying to identify some critical triggers, like some specific events that happen with this customer that you need to be aware of so that you can better personalize your service, right? And those triggers can be easily configured and customized to make sure that you're not overwhelmed with this data, but also you can use this data to understand, for example, additional prospect of selling additional products, or just giving a call to a customer and asking them a right question, right? And this is super important. So the step number one, creating the foundational customer profile, making sure the end users can easily understand it, and making sure that we have the right triggers being set within the system so that you can be notified about important events so that you can react and work on those. So the next concept is what we call next best offer or next best action. The idea behind this concept is focused on accumulating data points about your clients and then comparing that to some other successful customers so that you can understand and define their profile a little bit better. And when the system can suggest you what next step you can make or what next product you can offer and what is the likelihood of the customer actually to accept this offer. And it's not magic that is involved here, because all those decisions and all those suggestions can be based on machine learning and AI that is also based on historical data. I'll give you a practical example. The system will go to a certain segment and will try to understand and match thousands of profiles of your customers. And based on those profiles, the system will be able to identify a probability of this particular customer to accept an offer based on very simple patterns that are being observed in the same segment, right? And based on this information, as you enter in more and more data, your system becomes more intelligent, and the accuracy of those prescriptions and accuracy of those suggestions becoming even better, right? Just imagine that you can have a trusted advisor working within your CRM who always suggests you what to do next to be more successful. The reason why it's extremely important is because as sales professionals, we are very overwhelmed with data. We have so much stuff on our plate that sometimes it's very difficult to keep everything on the top of our mind. Such technologies as next best offer and next best actions, they help us to focus our attention and time and energy on what is really important, can drive sales to our organization, and also help us to hit our number and potentially earn our commission. We found those tools being very well accepted by majority of the end users and also very well used because there is a clear value within this approach and example. The next area of capabilities that we want to describe today is focus on lead nurturing and campaign management. Lots of salespeople and those relationship managers that are focused on dealing with customers usually don't like to delegate any interactions being made with their customers to a third-party organization or a person or technology, because they feel like only they can understand and manage those relationships, and they need to be in control on everything what is going on. But such approach usually leads to us not having the full capacity and us not being able to cover a larger customer base and a larger customer portfolio. There is a solution for that, and the solution is to use automated campaigns and automated engines that will help us to nurture our leads and communicate individually with each of our customers, and do that in a very scalable and automatic fashion. And we will use a lead nurturing process and as an example of such tool. Imagine that you have a portfolio of, say, 300 customers, and those 300 customers, they are in a different stage of their life cycle of relationships with you. Some of them closer to the end, and you're having some active negotiations and discussions. Some of them are fully engaged and enabled, but some of them are not ready to buy your product now or even listen to you in more details, but they might be a great customer, say, a few months from now. So how do you manage those portfolios? How do you manage those different segments? Well, lead nurturing campaigns can be of a great help. The system can run individual, tailored campaigns and share needed messages with your customers based on their data and based on their characteristics on your behalf. Your customers will be receiving text messages or, say, emails with some needed updates, with some very useful information being written by yourself, and this process will be automated. It will be personalized enough so that it will not be just some general email blast. It will be generic and not interesting at all. It will be a personalized message, and the system is intelligent enough to identify and incorporate those personalizations. And every time when your customer will interact with information that you are sending, for example, will open your email, will click through a link, or will somehow respond, we will be assigning certain scores, and we will be notifying you about those engagements and steps. So this will help you to understand what is going with your customers. This will help you to cover some larger portfolio, but also get engaged at that step where your customers are ready to consider your services and are ready to start a dialogue with you. So this tool can be of a massive help, and it can significantly improve your level of productivity. Now, let's talk about seamless and invisible processes. Even though we are in control of our destiny and we work very close with our customers, sometimes to complete a process, we need to rely on others, and we need to be in a very tight collaboration with them to deliver value to our end customers and our consumers. For that, we use all the power of business process management engine available within our system. And I can give you an example of opportunity management as one of these processes or examples of such processes. So here you see a page of an opportunity with an account. And this page includes a number of very important data points, such as our probability, our mood or our emotion about this deal and our likelihood of winning it, but also information about how long is this deal sitting in my pipeline and how long I have been engaged with a customer to complete this process. I also can see some additional data points. The opportunity is being broken down on certain stages so that no matter which stage I'm at, the system always suggests me some additional steps and some additional activities. And those activities can be generated based on the best practice available within your bank. Also, the same process and the same opportunity management use case will be able to engage needed people into certain decision-making gateways or processes, right? For example, your manager, if you need to get an approval, there is no need to go and send an email or give a call or spend a lot of time into reiterating about details of this deal, because all the information can be found here, excuse me, and this information is available at the fingertips so that your manager can understand and provide you with a needed discount. The same approach can be used towards some additional people within the chain that are necessary to give you approvals so that you can go ahead with this deal. The system can easily connect and engage those team members and make sure that you are progressing with your deal quickly, and also deliver you a very aggregated and visible set of information so that it's so easy to keep everybody up to date and keep everybody focused on what is important to complete now. And then the next super important point that we'd like to mention is our one-stop shop approach or our one-stop shop view. That's a situation when we consolidate all the data in a very efficient manner so that you can understand this data better, and you can understand where do you put your energy and efforts and where do you set up your priorities. And we have just that many hours in a day, so it's so important to understand how to structure our day, how to structure our priorities, and focus our energy on what really brings value and what really helps us to achieve our goals. So here you see a great example of a dashboard that allows us to see and track some critical aspects of our day-to-day job. It shows us some leads that have been distributed to me, and I can go ahead and drill down into each of those. I can see some overdue leads, or the leads that haven't been touched yet, and this can be applied for both the end user and the manager. Based on this information, I can quickly follow up with a needed relationship manager or reassign this lead to make sure that nothing falls through the cracks. I also can see some top opportunities that will help me to achieve my number. I also see some distribution of leads and opportunities by different relationship managers or within, for example, my timeline, depending on which role is being used to review this data. And also I see a combination of, say, upsell, cross-sell deals versus new business acquisitions. That helps you to understand where you put in your effort. Are you developing a new portfolio of customers, or are you serving your existing accounts? This is just one example of possible information that can be shared, and Creatio can have hundreds of those reports, and every data point can be used to create needed analytical chart that hopefully will give you a right insight so that you can be more successful with your day and with your customer. And finally, we are very passionate about concept of everyone being a developer. We understand that we are living in ever-changing world. And I think that 2020 actually proved that like nothing before, right? So we don't expect what we don't know, but when this happens, we need to quickly adapt and being able to accommodate those changes so that we can proceed with our path and follow our strategy. To achieve that, we at Creatio implemented and deployed an approach called low-code, right? So low-code is a technology that allowing the companies to quickly modify and change the system without having a very technical skills, right? So if I'm a power user, I will be able to modify my screen. I will be able to set up a business process without writing a single line of code. So everybody who understands the structure, who understands the technology, at least on a high level, is able and is capable of creating screens, business processes, actions, etc. Of course, in large organizations with high level of data governance, we cannot allow for a change everybody. So because there is a risk that the system will become very messy if everybody will start adding some fields without proper coordination management. But in the meantime, even if you have a smaller team that is responsible for that, because this technology is so easy and so intuitive, every time when you need to add a field or some data point or some chart or add some new process, this can be done literally in minutes, which helps you to get a much better time to value. And there is no need for you to wait long weeks or months to get this completed. And of course, you will be able to use this information in a much speedier fashion. And of course, we are very passionate about business process management automation. So here you see a diagram that represents a process that is running under the hood. The end users, they don't see those diagrams, but actually they have a lot of experience interacting with them, because within this business process management diagram, we can automate every single step. And more importantly, here we can program lots of automations. The system can record this data for you. The system can manipulate this data, make calculations, and minimize amount of data type and effort that is requested from the end user. At Creatio, our goal is to make sure that the end users spend their time very efficiently and they focus on what is important for the business. Talking to customers, solving some problems with their customers, making sure that the experience is only going up, but not spending time by retyping information into the CRM solution. And for that, we have developed this robust set of capabilities that allows us to automate all those steps and help to guide users and tell what to do next within the process. And we found this being a super productive approach towards automation for the end users in different industries, and especially in financial services. And now I also would like to talk a little bit more about some higher level vision and what we call one-stop shop approach. The technology that we're bringing to the table not only applicable to automate sales, marketing, and customer service, and you can see certain use cases that can be automated with the help of Creatio, but they can also cover some additional front office and middle office processes, and we can expand this automation to some additional fields and user groups. In the end of the day, it helps you to consolidate more use cases in one platform and help you to have one system instead of 5, 10, or 20 to work with that is an extremely great booster of your productivity. Because from one hand, you have all this information handy and available for you. And on the other hand, the system is very easy and intuitive, so that it's no need for you to spend another couple of weeks to understand how to work with the next use cases. And of course, this is a win-win scenario. Now, we want to finish the session with a number of recommendations that we want to share with new users of Creatio platform. Finally, we'd like to spend some time and walk through some successful strategies and give you some suggestions how to get most out of your Creatio system. The first advice is to understand a bigger picture CRM strategy of your organization and make sure you incorporate the strategy in your daily activities. It's very important to connect all the dots within this journey and deliver on the strategy, because if everybody within your organization will do that, then your company will be able to use that as a very strong competitive differentiation. The second suggestion is focused on what we call CRM hygiene. It's very important to develop your routine and invest time into embracing new technology. It's important to have those habits and define slots. When do you review data? When do you update it? And how do you use it? We will encourage you to get rid of your old tools, such as, for example, Excel reports, etc., and focus your full attention into a new technology. Once you learn it, it will be much easier for you to navigate through it, but also we promise you will be able to benefit from this knowledge and from this technology. The final suggestion is to use your Creatio as what we call customer engagement center. With this approach, before any interaction with your customer, try to review the data and try to understand how you can tailor and customize your approach and message to your customer. And once this interaction has been completed, make sure you go ahead and enter information to the system so that in the future, yourself or your team will be able to digest this information and use it for tailoring the messaging and making your conversations more relevant. We have enabled voice-to-text capability in Creatio, which means there is no longer a need for you to type all this data. You can just talk to your Creatio, and all this will be recognized and put into the right place and spot in the system.
Thank you, Andy, for this superb presentation. Really enjoyed it. Myself, hope everyone else has as well. And now let's let us give you a little bit of a background information on Creatio itself, just so that you know, or you might already know, but just for some of you as a reminder, Creatio is a global company present with our partners in as many as 110 countries. We have a very large partner network, of which we are very proud of, and hence why we are mentioning it here. We are also very proud of our partner, analyst recognition. We are highly recognized by both Gartner and Forrester, and we are present in as many as 12 of reports of these two companies. And in terms of Creatio, in terms of what we do, we are all about helping our customers do things faster and easier with automation and technology. So with that, let me just briefly again touch on the analyst recognition. As I mentioned, we are highly recognized, and we are in Gartner Magic Quadrants in 5 of them. In 2 of them, we are leaders, and those are the Magic Quadrant for Salesforce Automation and Magic Quadrant for CRM Lead Management. And you can see all of the reports here on this slide. In addition, we mentioned the Forrester waves. Here is the 7 of them in which Creatio is present, and you can see quite a variety of areas where Creatio's expertise and product has been recognized. So quite a wide range. You know, not something you see often for companies to be in as many reports as Creatio is. Now, we are all about creating a world where any business idea can be automated in minutes. This is really our motto. This is really what we are all about. We want any business professional without IT skills to still be able to use technology to their advantage, and take their ideas and to turn them into automation and actually a solution that a business can use. And with that, we believe we have certain superpowers as a business, and those are the fact that we combine three areas really with our product, and that is a business process management engine that allows businesses to develop and change processes. We also are very proud of, or effectively what's in our core of the product, which is a local platform that allows everyone to be a developer, to do things faster, easier, without the need for IT skills. And on top of our local platform, we have a unified set of customer-facing applications, and those are for sales, marketing, and service, and effectively those are CRM applications. Let's just touch briefly on the BPM, or business process management aspect. We are very proud of what's at the foundation of Creatio, and that's the business process management engine. It's all about business processes, changing processes, and doing them faster, easier, and doing them with as much of help of technology as possible. The other aspect of low code, this is really about enabling anyone and everywhere to build their own custom applications to get things done, and really don't need not to have to rely on IT teams to help get things done, which effectively, this ability to be a low code, to use low code to a business advantage, increase or makes everything much more efficient for a business. Finally, the best-in-class unified CRM platform. This is all about uh, these customer-facing applications, which we have marketing, sales, and service, and those are all integrated within the platform, and effectively they are of use for all these types of teams. Now, I've described all of them. This is what actually our product stack looks like. The one thing I haven't really mentioned much is the Creatio Marketplace. This is where our partners and our community is able to deploy different applications that work on top of Studio or support the sales, marketing, and service product. And the marketplace is really where all these applications, connectors, and all kinds of other tools sit on and are available for our community and customers. So with that, you pretty much know everything about Creatio as well there is to know, or of course the top level information. There is much more learned to us about us, so please do stay in touch if you'd like to learn more. And just to summarize, this recording will be, as are a lot of others, available on our YouTube channel. But if you can't find it there, we will make sure it will be sent via email, and you're able to find it on the Creatio website as well. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, Andy, for the presentation. We again thank you for your questions. If we haven't been able to answer them yet, we will try to make sure to do so later, and send you an email. Please be on the lookout for more Creatio events, and we are looking forward to seeing you again, and hopefully talking to you in the near future. Thank you. Bye bye.